everybody. This is Lisa and Nancy, and today we are inside this cool Western-themed winery. We're in a barn. There's cowboy stuff everywhere,
and we like
and all the wine bottles they're wearing their cowboy masks. They've got their, what do you call them?
Their bandanas.
Their bandanas around their necks, and actually the wine is looking pretty darn sexy.
It really looks good.
But we're at Vines 29 in
Vines 79.
Vines 79.
Right.
Why did I've changed your numbers about 10 times.
Yeah.
But I want to find out.
And we'll explain why.
Yeah, I need to have some. But we're going to start with Viognier, right? The
Yes.
Viognier blend.
Yes.
But okay, so Vines 79.
Yes.
Okay, and we're sitting with Juliann and Juliann Adams, a relative of John Adams.
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're not.
Oh, that would be enough of that.
But my husband's family does. We were originally from Connecticut, and his father he is actually sixth generation in Connecticut. So the family goes back to the 1600s, but they are no relation to John Adams. But he has family that fought in the Civil War. So.
Wow.
And we have an old leather family album that has all those pictures in it, so it's pretty cool. But
hey, we knew we would talk about that too.
Yeah, cheers.
Thank you for having us here.
It's the right way.
Yes, cheers. Chink, chink.
Chink, chink.
Chink, chink. So this is a Viognier blend.
So this is a Viognier blend, and we buy the grape wine juice from our neighbor Kaibab Sauvage, who's right behind us. We only grow red grapes. But we want to have white wine to offer our customers. So we buy the white wine, and we want to keep it all Palisade and all Colorado. So we chose to buy it from him. It's close right behind us, so it's all grown in the same place. But it's called a blend. It doesn't have any other wine in it.
We like it that.
But it's a blend because it's a blend of different Viognier blocks and lots. So they're all coming from different terroirs.
So they're hanging out.
They're hanging out.
Yeah,
it's a great marriage of all these different beignets.
But this is very light and
it's very light. It's a great summer wine.
Oh, wow, I know. This is a nice patio pounder.
It is a patio pounder, and I have done a really cool white sangria out of it with some peaches and melon and apple. And a little bit of peach schnapps.
This goes really well for this area because we are in the peach capital.
We are in the peach capital. And the Viognier is, I say, it's a perfect kiss of Palisade because it does have a lot of stone fruit in it. So you can taste peaches and apricots, which is what we're known for. So
you can make a pie with this.
Ooh,
little apple pie.
Does anybody grow nectarines out here?
We have actually two growers that do have a nectarine.
Okay, great. So this year was a tough year for peaches. You had a freeze. Of course, there's the whole pandemic thing that doesn't help. And just in case everybody knows, yes, it's a little different up here wine tasting wise. A lot of times you can go in the winery and purchase wine. Right now we're having a private party, so we are not breaking the law.
No, we're not.
And we are 6 feet apart and clean and happy.
And we're under 10 people.
Yes, we're under 10 people.
And the door's closed.
But we do have one sock monkey, Priscilla, who put on her chaps just for you so she can blend in to this cool background. But you had a hard time with the peaches and this big freeze. How did it affect grapes here?
Well, it did. The April freeze that we had did not affect the grapes because the grapes had not started to come out yet. So the grapes are a little bit later than the fruit trees, which is a saving grace.
Yeah.
What hurt the grapes a little bit this year was the hard freeze that we had, the early freeze that we had in October. So on October 10th, we had temperatures going down to 9 degrees, and it stayed there several hours. And so we still had grapes on the vines that hadn't even been picked yet. So it's much earlier than it ever is. Usually we start to get a hard freeze maybe towards December, but by that time the grapes are all off, the leaves have fallen off, and the plants have gone dormant. Well, they were still pushing juice because they had grapes on it. Yeah. So when this hard freeze came, it did some damage, and a lot of people in the area lost some at that time. It didn't devastate us where we lost everything, but it definitely did, just little patches here and there. So we figured out once we started growing back now and we see green, we could tell where the damage is. And so we had 40 plants that didn't survive. So but that's not a lot out of 2,000. Yeah. So we were happy with that because you didn't know what it was going to be, what it was going to be like. So we were happy with the production that we have. So we're okay.
Well, good. So what is the next one?
So the next one we have, I'm kind of out of my normal order here. So we are going to do the double barrel blend, which is a wonderfully light, medium bodied blend, which is 60% of our Syrah, 40% of our Cabernet Franc.
That's exciting.
So the Syrah has a little bit of spice to it. The Cabernet Franc brings you a lot of dark fruit. So it's a great combination. It could go with any type of food, but it's great with like lasagna or chili, things of that nature. So try that.
She needs some too. You need some. Girls are
Do you want to
behind.
just drink on the same? You want me to?
No, I can just.
She's gonna swig it down.
You're gonna swig that
Swig
down?
it down. It's good.
Swig it down.
There'll be no spitting or pouring out in this facility. Woohoo!
Yeah.
So you opened up this January, and now we're going into summer, so
Yes.
that had to be a little bit of a stunted open.
It was, because when you're all excited about opening up your winery and you have all these great plans and and then suddenly this virus comes through and the governor is telling you, okay, everybody has to shut down, and so it's almost like you just hit a stone wall.
But I think it's going to come back very strong as soon as everybody can open, because people are tired of being at home.
But do you ship wine?
Yes.
You do, so people can order it online?
We can order, and that kind of was a saving grace for a lot of us. But we weren't allowed to deliver wine. We could not send if a customer here locally wanted some wine, we could not deliver it.
Oh.
But with all this happening, the Liquor Enforcement Division here in Colorado said, we understand everybody's going through some issues and some problems and you're hurting, so we're gonna go easy on some. We're gonna bend some of the rules.
Yeah.
So they said that we could actually deliver ourselves, or our staff could deliver to somebody local. So which was kind of nice too.
I like that. I'd like a mobile one. She always
Wouldn't
said,
you like that?
She always said there needed to be a business called Dial-A-Bottle.
That's cool. Little
Oh, I know.
party snacks and savors and your favorite beverages delivered by
I like
No,
it.
why not?
I know.
Yeah. In fact, it should be an
and
app
they
on
should,
the
and
phone.
it should come with
Call a
pizza.
party.
Yeah, pizza. Any other little party things you may need. You never know.
And a lot of us, you had to be a little innovative during this crisis. See, okay, what can we do? And so I think a lot of people have found that some of the things they came up with to help with the virus, they might just actually hold on to when they actually can use them, because some of the things actually were good.
Yeah.
We had one of our neighbors, our neighbor winery, they do cocktails. And so they came up with the idea of, okay, well, we'll deliver
Cocktails.
ready-made cocktails.
Yeah.
And so they got all the ingredients together, and so basically you could just get all the ingredients, you have your cocktail, put it together when you got home, and you have your cocktail. So now they're thinking they might see if they can keep it and have a cocktail to go.
So we could have a bar truck.
Yeah, let's say a mobile margarita. Move over ice cream van. We don't care about you. We want the adult truck.
Bar,
we want the adult truck.
That would be so cool.
I think it would be a lot of fun. Just get a bunch of wineries and pick a spot and just say, okay, just bring your stuff.
I know.
Wouldn't that be cool? But
And followed by a taco truck. So I want to know about the number 79, because
So,
now I'll remember
the number 79 is, when we bought this place, our deed has us listed as we are section 79 of the Vinelands in Palisade. So we
I'm
thought,
sorry, but this is really good.
isn't this wonderful? It's
Oh my,
perfect
oh
blend.
my, 'cause I love Syrahs, and now has a little cup. Oh,
The Cab Franc, I love Cab Franc.
see, this just proves the word blend is the best word.
I think blends are like the perfect harmony between
Creative.
the good of both, even 2 or 3 wines. But it's just you take the best of all of it and put it all together and you come up with this whole new combination.
I know.
And the nice thing about a blend is it doesn't always have to be the same, because you can just change the percentages.
Yeah, it's yours.
Add something else maybe, and it's suddenly a whole brand new wine.
This is so cool, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it
But that's
was so exciting.
But I'm excited. You're excited.
I'm excited. I'm so glad I woke up today. So 79. So it had to do with your deed and.
So it was the deed. It was our section. So when Colorado was divided and opened up for territory, it was block sections. And so this one was section 79 of the Vinelands. So the Vinelands is this area. It's the east end of the valley, and it's only this area here from the bridge east to the highway, and the river goes right south of us, or north of us, I'm sorry. And so the water table here is wonderful. The soil is basically river bottom, so it was perfect for growing. So grapes were actually here in the late 1800s. So when George Crawford came here and developed and homesteaded the land, he put it all in grapes originally.
Smart man.
Smart man. So he knew. And they did amazing. So of course, the state of Colorado went into prohibition in 1916. And so the state made him pull everything out. And of course, he tried to argue his way and say, well, I could use it for just myself, and I won't make wine or sell. And the state was like, no. So they had to be all pulled out. I mean, hundreds of acres of grapes pulled out. So he had to have a livelihood. So wherever grapes will grow well, stone fruit will grow well. So that's where the peaches came from. So the peaches were put in, and the peaches did so incredibly that they didn't even think about putting grapes in again. So peaches were the crop here, and it wasn't until the 70s when two amateur winemakers in Denver said, why don't we grow grapes back here? We want to make wine, but there were no grapes at that time. And so they said, we need to bring grapes back to Colorado. So they did an experiment to see where the best areas were. They did a test plot here in Palisade because they knew they were here before. They did a test plot in the Four Corners, and they did some test plots on the Eastern Range. And they found that the Western Range was definitely the best place to grow.
It's the Western slope.
It's the Western slope.
The Western slope.
And there are some little areas on the Front Range that have grapes, but they just don't have the yield that we have here.
Yeah.
They just love it here. And we're a desert plateau, so it's that hot day and then the cooler night, and the soil's great drainage, so they do really well. So we're really glad that the grapes came back.
Yeah.
This is phenomenal.
Thank you.
My gosh.
Cheers.
I'm a happy
Enjoy.
girl. My gosh. Don't let Priscilla the sock monkey have any of this.
I put her to bed.
Oh,
with
good.
her friends. I think she can stay with them now.
How long have you been in Palisade, coming from back east?
We moved here in 1996.
Okay.
And we moved here really because the Northeast was just getting extremely busy and crowded, and the real kicker was our son was going into kindergarten, and he was 5 years old, and we went to the elementary school, and we were sitting in this large room and the principal comes out, and the room is packed. So the principal came out, and she welcomed everybody and said, your child's about to enter the largest elementary school in the state of Connecticut. There are 981 students, 5 kindergartens, double session. And she's going on thinking this is really a great thing. I looked at my husband, I said, we're done.
No.
We're done.
No.
We left California when I was, a year and a half ago, because I was lying on the floor because of the smog. And that's when she said she got an offer to work in...
That's it.
She said, that's it, and she got an offer to work in Kenya.
Yeah.
And off we went.
Because it has
Same thing about that kind of...
It's just, you kind of look at it and go, well, that's not the lifestyle that we want. And we have 3 older daughters. Zach was kind of a late baby. And so our girls were already in high school, and one was already going into college. And so, he was the youngest one, and the girls didn't have that. The girls went to a small high school and, in a small elementary school. They knew everybody. I knew everybody. All the parents knew each other.
Yeah.
You have that closeness. But when I heard that, I was just, this is not what I want for him. So Dan's brother lives here up in Mesa. My brother was living in Page, Arizona. So we had been out here, doing a lot of vacations, and my husband hunts with his brother, and so we were out here a lot, and we just loved it out here. And so when all that happened, I said, let's just take a trip. Let's just go, let's just go west. And just figure out where we really want to be. We did. We
go west.
We went west. We picked up and went west.
We did.
And there's my little boy right there. He's now a paramedic.
I was going to say, he's not a little boy in kindergarten anymore.
But we just said that was it. And so when we came out, I just liked the Grand Junction area, because to me it's still a small area, but it isn't that far away from. The things.
It's a nice balance.
It is a nice balance.
Because Grand Junction, we were just in the downtown today, and that is a really nice downtown, colorful, all the public art, and I love how it connects with Palisade with all the public art, and how they really complement each other. And you can live here, like I could live here easily, other than we're full-time travelers, but it is one of those places. You've got the views, the contrast between the green and the rust colors of the cliffs.
The book cliffs. It's very different. It's so different from Connecticut. Connecticut is you're in New England, and so you've got a lot of trees, and the trees are closed in, and so you don't have the big sky.
When you get, once you have the big sky, you can't go back.
Oh, no.
You get freaked out.
In fact, I'll tell you, we moved out here when Zach was he was 6. So to him, Colorado's home. He doesn't really remember anything really other than this. And so we went back 2 years ago to go visit friends and family, and he hadn't been back since he was probably about 9. And he just was like, Mom, where's the sky? I don't have any landmarks. I don't know where I am. Because here you can tell what direction.
Everything goes by Mount Garfield.
Everything. And so that was the biggest thing that he found was just having that closed-in feeling. Yeah, absolutely. So I love the big sky. You can't go back.
I think you've got big quality of life here, and I think wine is a big part of it.
Yep.
So what is the next one?
So
I don't want to leave this one though.
Well, just go ahead.
This is a very happy.
It's a very happy. And I'm just gonna, I will close all these bottles up and.
All right, I'm happy.
You can finish it.
I'm happy. That is a very, okay, everybody, Vine 79. So
yes.
What is your website for everyone to know?
Vine79.com.
Go and get the blend.
Yes, get the blend.
You know what? I want to do a new column on blend, because even musicians have this thing about don't call me just jazz or just this. Stop pigeonholing. And I love that the wine, you're right, that is such a creative, but to put the Syrah with that is... Ooh.
Yeah, I love it.
So,
well, Cab Franc is one of my favorites, and Syrah's my second. So to put the two together was.
Oh yeah, she's got her glasses.
She's ready.
She's like, all right,
here comes the glass. Does everybody hear that? That's the sound of really good adult juice. Look how pretty it is.
What? I know.
That's liquid music.
Oh, I like that. Liquid music. That's much better.
But now. The glass needs
and the glass is there. No. I love this. You've got the whatchamacallit, the skull on the cow skull.
Yeah.
So
and the skull came from, again, we wanted the Western cowboy theme. The name was Vine 79 because we wanted to have a something to symbolize the violin. So the Vines and the 79 came together, and when I saw the V and writing it out, and I designed the logo, and so I was trying to come up with it, and I just said,
good job.
The V just has to be forward. I mean, it just naturally made itself.
So I've got to tell you that our friends, the Walkabout Band, they're from back east, Long Island, the east end of Long Island?
I think so.
Up in upstate New York. So it's like the artistic side or something. We've never been up there, but they come on our shows all the time. We play their music all the time, so they're part that and part Sydney, Australia. So their album covers have a big cow skull on them, and now this new one is the 2020 is the album, and we played it all through the on the Rim Trail, on the Rim Drive in Colorado National Monument. Perfect pairing. I'm going to bring it in after this conversation and photograph it because it's like the album. I've got the actual CD in the car.
Oh, neat. Yes,
I know, it's like one of my few actual CDs that we have, but no, that's not true.
It'll go really well with that.
We'll put it up. Yeah, I got to photograph it for them because I think that would be a cool pairing musically.
They'll say, look what they're doing.
This is the Syrah?
This is the Syrah. And so, cheers.
Cheers.
So the Syrah is very different than what you expect when you drink Shiraz or Syrah. They are normally you're supposed to get a lot of pepper, and a lot of people don't like Syrah because of that. So our Syrah is so different, and I think it's because of where it grows that it doesn't have a lot of pepper. It has more dark fruit. It has vanilla.
It smells quite romantic.
It's so different, and I have a very good friend who actually hates Syrah. Like, she thinks it's the worst wine ever. And yet the first time she tried mine, she said, "Oh my God, this is my new favorite."
It doesn't do that back of the
No, it doesn't.
I know what you mean. There's that back.
It's the peppery on the back end, isn't it?
Peppery on the back end.
Syrah has a very great. It's a front. It hits your front of your tongue really well, but then when it gets to the back, all that pepper comes in and burns you. And so, and like I said, I think it's just where it grows. Because I've had Syrah from other areas of the valley, and it doesn't taste like ours. So.
See, I like that microclimate.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, I like that. And now this is Silver Star Syrah.
Silver Star Syrah.
So the blend is double barrel blend.
Double barrel blend.
And so the final one we're going to have is Cowboy Cab.
Cowboy Cab.
I love this, but Silver Star Syrah, that's a nice, keeping with the Western theme.
It's Western, the lawmen.
Do you get a lot of European visitors here? And we
haven't had it yet because, of course, but normally.
Which you will.
We do have a lot of Europeans that come here.
Yeah,
a
because
lot.
you've got Moab.
Oh yeah.
You've got, and also even
French,
Gunnison.
UK, Germany,
Right on.
Italy. We have had a lot of visitors from European countries and Asia as well. And South Africa.
Oh yeah.
I've actually had several
This is
people
very
from
South African here.
We had a group here
Absolutely.
a couple years ago when I was still with the chamber. We do a peach festival every summer, and we do an ice cream social where we literally close the downtown Palisade area, and we serve ice cream and peaches for free to everybody that's there, and we have a big street block dance. And so we had this group of, and I didn't know where they were from, but they came up and they started talking to us. Well, we have town officials actually serving the ice cream. So the mayor, the town administrator, the chief of police, they are actually serving the ice cream. So this group of ladies were standing there and they were just like staring. And I couldn't understand, was there something wrong? Did they not like the ice cream? Did they, they just had one of those perplexed faces. So I went up to them and I just kind of, asked them if there was anything I could help them with. Were they looking for something in particular? And so they were from Russia. And they were just amazed that we had the chief of police serving them ice cream, because that would never be done in Russia. And so that was just something they thought was
fun.
Amazing. So it's like you don't even realize how that wouldn't be anything.
But
that's a second thought for us.
I love
But I love that conversation where she said they were actually a group. They were traveling through through America. They were doing different stops, and they had heard about our peach festival, so they decided to they planned their trip to come here during the festival.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. See, I love that. Go to community festivals. As you travel, it's like, that's how you're going to meet the locals.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to understand the local culture and how the way of life.
Absolutely.
I don't care how small or big the town is. Go to it.
It's
even
great.
the pancake breakfast and stuff.
Exactly.
You get to know everybody. But the Russians, I want to say this. We used to live in Mexico, just south of San Diego, in Ensenada area. And so that whole Guadalupe region, a lot of the winemakers were German and Russian.
Yeah.
So, and apparently the Russians can make some really good wine. I'm just saying.
But you don't
Think of it. You think only vodka. You only think vodka. You only think that, right?
You don't think of them as necessarily as winemakers. But wine I think the wine industry has just expanded so much more in the last 10, 15 years. When you thought of American wine, you thought of California, Gallo and Kendall Jackson, and you never even thought about other states as having wine areas.
Oh, that's true.
And in the last 10, 15, 20 years, I think almost every state now has a wine area.
Well, this is going to be a good tour.
So, I just think
every state does have wine.
Yeah, and I like I said, we grew up in Connecticut, and we had a winery that was right up the road from where we were, and we went there all the time, and they had a restaurant, and they had been there for over 100 years, so we knew the family. My husband knew the family really well, and so but it wasn't like it was one.
But at least, hey,
and it wasn't like we had a wine region, Well, we went back, a couple of years ago. We were just shocked. They had a wine trail that took you through the state of Connecticut. They had, a whole bunch of wineries, and we thought, we got to do it. We got to go. We did the trail, but that wasn't there when we were there.
See, it's all
20 years ago.
Well, America's catching up, but America really did actually have an older wine thing going on, than what we thought. Temecula, California is one of the actual very, very first AVAs out here, and the very first wine that came over. And you got to think about all Spanish coming through and what they did. They brought wine. They did some things too that weren't so cool, but they did bring some wine. So we'll be a little nice to that. So speaking of history, you opening up the winery, I know you were making wine. So that process of opening a winery, it's got to be scary, because I know it's not cheap. It's not easy. It is a labor of love. So, but how did you have all your wine ready beforehand? How did that work?
If you're gonna get into the business, and we literally decided to do this probably 8 years ago, because I don't think it's something you should just do and say, I'm going to open up in 6 months. You open up a winery. I think it's something you need to research. I think you need to study. I think you need to educate yourself about what you're getting into. So we started taking classes. We have a local CSU research center that has a viticultural and enology section. And so they do a lot of testing, and they do classes, and how to start a vineyard, what the cost is to start a winery, what you need to do, all those kind of things. So we started taking classes way before we made any true move to do this. Because we thought we want to make sure what we're getting into, and can we afford it, and what do we need to put aside. And so when we made the decision to do it, we started planning for it. So as I said, we were amateur winemakers for over 10 years. And so what we did was we started looking for, say, a winery that was going out of business and selling some equipment. So we started buying our equipment slowly. So we knew what we needed.
All winery wannabes, you got to listen to this.
Yeah.
It's really smart.
So, and that's what we did. And so we knew that we didn't have a blank check that we could say, we're just going to open up a winery, let's just go buy everything that we need today. So we did it gradually.
Stages,
We did it in stages. And then when we were truly ready, then we went ahead and got our license, our permit license from the federal government, because that's the first step is through the TTB, because you cannot sell wine that you have made without a license. So you need the license first. So once we did that, then we took our next harvest, and with Red Fox Winery, our friends over there, they were gracious to help us get started that first year. And so we basically brought everything over there, we made the wine, and so then when during that time process, while the wine was basically aging, we finished the winery. And so then once it was done, we could bring the wine home, and then we got the sales room ready, because it's another license.
Wow.
Because the sales room is a separate license, so it's a process. But so it took us several years, but I don't think it's something you should jump into. I think it's something that you definitely want to research and make sure that it's really the right thing you want to do. And there's a lot of things to it. And we're a small winery. We're considered a boutique winery because we're under 1,000 cases. And so, when you have a small winery like this, you also know, you're not going to have enough to hire a full staff to do everything.
Right.
So
I know, something's doing something. Where are we?
And so, you have to be willing to say, okay, you're going to give up your weekends and you're going to be at the winery, and I'm the marketing director. I'm actually the winemaker. I do the sales room. My husband does the vineyard. He's the vineyard specialist. That's his baby, is the farming side of it. But he loves to be out there in the vines and do his thing. And then he, of course, he's my muscle too, because I don't move the big tanks and stuff. So we do it together, and it's been wonderful.
Cool.
And we're very excited to do it. But and I think part of the decision too is where you are, and to make sure that if you're going to open up a winery, where do you want to be, and is the area that you're in conducive to a wine destination? Because if you're the only one and you're going to try and market people to come to you, that's going to be really tough.
Yeah.
But if you're already part of a wine destination area, that makes a big
That's
difference.
right, and you work together.
Well, absolutely.
You have to work together for this kind of thing.
I mean, you were at Mesa Park. Laura and Brandon are great
awesome
friends, and they bring people to us, and we send them up the hill. And
Well, because people want to go from winery to winery. They don't really want to go to just one.
This is a very interesting Syrah because
it's very different.
it's not as heavy jammy, it's like lighter, but it has the flavor, fruit forward flavor, but then it's light.
It's very light.
This is really good.
But like I said, when people come in and say, "Well, I don't like Syrah,"
oh, I love Syrah. That's my favorite.
and I just tell them,
You got to try it.
just try it, because you're here for a tasting. That's the whole point. Is you're here to open up your up your environment, or open up your experience, and just try it. Because if you don't like it, that's what that's for. You just dump it away.
Yeah.
And when they try it, I just love when they just look at me and go, wow.
I know, it is a wow.
That's not what I expected.
That is a big wow.
So, and a lot of people end up buying it because it's not what they expected. So, it's a fun Syrah. And like I said, I think it's just where it is.
Good.
It's something about this area that the Syrah just does really well.
Very, very
They like
cool.
it here.
I know.
The grapes.
Yeah, well, I like
They're
it.
happy.
They are happy. But I love the tasting room being in a barn too. I like this.
Yeah.
I like the whole style of it. And
Well, it's
even
us.
look at the ceiling. That ceiling is cool.
It's us. It just So that's the old, again, it's the old, the old tin ceilings that's what it had to be. And, it's, I have to say it's not the real tin because we searched real tin and it was so cost prohibitive.
Yeah, but it's cool.
It was almost going to be as much as this entire tasting room cost me. No. And I thought, I just can't justify that.
Yeah, no, put it into the wine rather.
That's what I said. I need a new tank or something.
It's got the atmosphere.
But it's cool that people can see the tank here too.
Yep.
So this is a whole, I think what's so great about people being able to come to tasting rooms is it's an education for everybody.
That's what it is. It's an experience. And so it's not just, I don't want you just to come in and buy a bottle of wine and leave. That's what's so hard for me to have this COVID restriction right now because I miss that
your conversation
and
that
education, getting to know somebody and having that relationship built. And so to me, it's like now I could be a liquor store. I'm just selling a bottle of wine.
Yeah, that's.
And so I can't wait.
She's not a hooch mama.
No. She's a winemaker. I'm a winemaker. I like to share. This is my craft. And this is my baby.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
And so I want to have you pour a glass of wine and have you be excited about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want to see that excitement. That's my only satisfaction, I guess. It's my reward for making the wine.
You get to actually see it because you don't see people at dinner tables with their wine going, oh, this is great.
No.
You get the Facebook stuff, but it's still different than that. So
Absolutely.
Cab is the next, the cowboy.
So the cowboy cab.
Giddy up.
The cowboy cab is kind of like the quintessential of our winery is the cowboy cab. And do you want to have the pour?
We just want everybody to hear that several times. Yes.
Cabernet Sauvignon, of course, is
the best.
A wonderful wine. It grows really, really well here in the Palisade area. And everybody knows Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah.
So it's not something you have to sell. Everybody loves Cabernet. You can't beat a Cabernet Sauvignon with a great big T-bone steak. It's just a great wine. To me, I know California was the big thing for a long time was Merlot, and then of course Merlot got kicked off when Sideways came, and then it was Pinot Noir. But to me, Cabernet Sauvignon is still, I think,
it's the master.
It's the master, and a lot of like Cabernet Franc. A lot of grapes varieties started
from
the parent is the Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah.
So Cabernet Franc came from Cabernet Sauvignon and Sauvignon Blanc. And so it was a grafting of those two. So Cabernet Sauvignon is to me, it's like the granddaddy of wines. So it should be, to me, a Cabernet Sauvignon should be a little bolder. It should have more of the oak.
This is yummy meat.
Oh, holy cow.
Yummy.
Ooh. I'll take that cowboy.
I'll take that cowboy.
Oh my gosh.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
I know, right? That's it. Yeah, right? Yeah, right. That's it. Oh my gosh. This is so good.
Yeah, and usually when I do a tasting, the cab is always the last one that I give them.
Yeah,
it's the boldest of the three.
And it's like, wow.
Yeah, and
you think, how can it get even better? And then it's like, ba-boom. But they're each different. Each one is unique.
Each one's unique.
And the sad part is when they go away, then it's like,
I know.
It's like disappearing art. It's like temporary art.
It's like this. Every year, it's one of the few industries that when you start your new year, you start with a whole new product.
Yeah.
You don't, it isn't like a factory where you have the product coming off the line the same exact way it did 10 years ago. Wine, every year, it's new grapes. It's, the weather affects the grapes.
Yeah, so it's always going to be
whether or not you have a rainy season, whether you have a dry season, if you had a drought. It's all these elements come together to create your glass.
Well, cheers to you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is fantastic. Last question.
Yes.
The newspaper.
Yes.
Awesome. The wall is covered with all these. This is the newspaper wall. And it's cool because in national parks, when they have petroglyphs, they call it newspaper walk.
Yep.
So now this is like the newspaper barn. It is.
And it's local. It's local history.
So cool.
It's local history. It's from 1920s. The paper's from 1920 to 1945. And when I went through the collection, I chose headlines that I thought were interesting, and there's a lot of local news in there. And then I went back to do the top layer, and I went through all the papers. I have a ton of newspapers, but I went through them to find advertising from stores or companies that are still here today.
Oh, cool.
So Grand Valley National Bank, Paige Parsons, Benja's Shoes, the Avalon Theater. So there's a lot of companies and stores that are still here that you can come here and see their ads from 70 years ago. And I shop at Benja's Shoes, and so I went in there and talked to the owner, and that store has been here 105 years.
Wow.
And so I went to the store and I saw Bruce, who's the owner, and I told him, I said, hey Bruce, you got to come into the winery one of these days, because I have a bunch of 1920s and 1930s ads from your shoes, and there's like shoes for $6.95 there.
That's cool.
They're not $6.95 anymore.
No.
Look at that old phone.
But the old phones,
the
phones, I had Safeway and City Market, which are still grocery stores here. Well, because those are from 1940 to 1945, there's references there, like, because they were what's the word, I'm going to a blank. So they had to, not stifle, but they had to stop people from buying just about everything.
Oh.
So there's the ad there for Safeway for the weekly ad, but it says we will have meat next week for 2 days. We don't know what kind of meat, we don't know how much, so it's first come, first served.
It's starting to sound like now.
And that's exactly what I thought, because when I went, when all that started and everybody was kind of hoarding food.
Yeah.
And toilet paper.
And I went into City Market one day, and the entire meat department was gone.
Yeah.
Like, gone.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I thought. I was like, oh my God, we're back to back to the war area. And so it's just kind of interesting to read, some of those ads. And there was another ad somewhere in here that they would ask you to save your lard, because they were sending the lard to the soldiers.
Oh, wow.
To cook with and things. So things that we don't
think of.
This is really interesting, because you think about ads as part of history.
Yes.
Same as art and music always tells what's going on. But when you think about ads,
and ads are.
They're part of
It
history.
gives you everything. And that's what I love about it was the ads. And of course I love the fashion. I love looking at the fashion. I mean, these are the kind of styles they were selling back then in the 30s
Very
and 40s
cool.
and 20s, and
Wow, Juliann, thank you for having us here for our little private tasting
you.
and our amazing experience of
I'm
wine.
so glad you got to make it here.
I know.
And it's a quiet day, so which is good.
Yeah, so thank you, and cheers to you, and continued success.
Thank you very much.
And give everyone your website again.
Vines79.com.
Vines with an S on the end.
Yes.
Vines79.com.